Tuesday afternoon and happy Election Day. Welcome to 22 News at 4. I'm Nick Oresco. If you haven't voted already today, weather doesn't look that bad. Let's bring in meteorologist Brian Lapis now. If people are still heading out to the polls this evening, weather looks good.
Yeah, you know, we were just talking before we started the digital newscast that we're kind of in the neighborhood of a record high today. I believe the record high is 77.
Okay.
And we actually got to 77 at Barnes Airport in Westfield. We have not quite gotten there at Westover Air Reserve Base where that record is held.
Overall, still very warm.
Nice day.
Yeah.
Oh, and you know what? To further distract from the task at hand here, I just want to say that I've got good news and bad news. What do you want first?
The bad news.
All right, the bad news is that I only got to one polling place bake sale today.
Ooh, what'd you get?
The good news is that I got you something.
You did?
Yeah, so we'll
That's awesome.
We'll do the big mediocre reveal
Okay.
at the end of the 6 o'clock newscast
All right,
tonight.
tune in.
Anyway, we're going to do traffic now? Is
Let's
that
do
what we're
it,
doing
yeah,
here? Yes.
yeah.
We've got a major backup here on I-91 southbound, and very big thanks to our traffic reporter, Kayla Heavey from Mass Appeal, who first alerted us to this. There's apparently an accident on I-91 south near the Longmeadow Curve, and as a result, we have slow traffic here from our camera, as you can see from our camera at the top of Monarch Place. Okay, let's take a look at the map, shall we? Thank you very much, Nikki. And you can see here the slow going. And we have the magenta exclamation point, which means there's an accident there on I-91 South. Otherwise, 91 is in good shape and the Pike is in good shape in both directions. Let's take a look at temperatures, shall we? And as you can see here, we're in the low to mid 70s. 74 Springfield, there's the 77 in Westfield, 75 Northampton and Greenfield. Breeze out of the southwest. It's a noticeable breeze. This continues to be really bad news for brush fire danger. Brush fire danger continues to be high. Do not burn anything outside and be very careful with the disposal of smoking materials. On the upside, it is, as Nick mentioned, a lovely afternoon. Maybe you can walk to your polling place and you can see scattered clouds here. Could be a raindrop tomorrow. We'll show you with the 22 News Storm Team Skycast.
Election Day is finally here, and voters across the country and right here in western Massachusetts will decide on a number of races. In the race for the White House, it's Democratic Vice President Kamala Harris and Republican former President Donald Trump. The vice president became the Democratic Party's nominee after President Biden's performance in a debate in June that led him to withdraw from the race. Harris would become the first female president in U.S. history. Meantime, Trump survived an assassination attempt at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. Then his Secret Service detail stopped a second attempt in September at one of his Florida golf courses. A Trump victory would also make history, becoming the first convicted felon to become president. There are also local races, and we will explain those tonight starting at 5 o'clock. A Pennsylvania judge ruled that Elon Musk's America PAC can keep writing checks to voters. The judge declined an effort by the Philadelphia DA to stop his PAC from giving out cash prizes to registered voters. The Philly DA sued Musk and America PAC last month, alleging that the giveaways were an illegal, unregulated lottery. But Musk's attorney said it wasn't a lottery because winners are not determined by chance. The PAC picks winners who effectively serve as spokespeople, and they will earn $1 million for doing so. The Boeing strike is over after machinists approved the new contract last night. The International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers said that its members voted by 59% to approve the deal. Under the new contract, workers will get a 38% raise in pay over 4 years, a $12,000 signing bonus, and higher employer contributions to their retirement plans. But the deal does not restore a defined benefit pension that Boeing froze in 2014, a key demand of some employees. The new contract brings an end to the weeks-long strike that began in September. The New York Times Tech Guild announced that it is officially on an unfair labor practice strike. The Times Tech Guild and the New York Times management negotiated through Sunday. Issues include contract provisions, pay increases, equity, and return to office policies. The Guild is made up of over 600 tech workers who build and maintain the infrastructure behind the New York Times. Back now with very generous meteorologist Ryan Lapis. Weather looks good really through the next few days.
Yeah, it does, and certainly on the mild side. Even after we come down from our peak heat of the week tomorrow, we're still going to be warmer than average. Let's take a look at it right now. And again, you know what? Take a walk this afternoon or this evening to your polling place. If you can do that, you can see here that we'll have dry weather, 5 o'clock, just a few scattered clouds, and temperatures this evening. Here we are on November 5th. We're talking about early evening temperatures that will still be in the 70s and then gradually cooling through the 60s. 9 o'clock tonight, mostly clear, and just some scattered clouds here overnight into early tomorrow morning. This is 6 o'clock tomorrow morning with temperatures in the 50s to around 60 degrees. And you can see here at noontime, sunshine. And then in the afternoon, some clouds roll in, and there's the chance for a scattered to isolated shower here tomorrow afternoon and early tomorrow evening. High temperatures tomorrow, 74 to 78, and then we dry out for the rest of the week. We'll show you on 22 News at 5.
The Red Sox are reportedly extending a $21 million qualifying offer to pitcher Nick Pivetta. This means that if Pivetta chooses to decline the offer and becomes a free agent, the Sox get compensated. Pivetta was 6-12 last season with an ERA over 4 in 145 innings. Pivetta has until 4 p.m. on November 19th to either accept or decline that offer. SpaceX's CRS-31 mission launched from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. The Falcon 9 rocket lifted off just before 9:30 last night. It is NASA's resupply mission to the astronauts on the International Space Station. The cargo Dragon 2 is bringing critical materials to directly support science and research investigations on board the orbiting laboratory. This is the 5th flight of the first stage booster supporting this mission, which previously launched Crew 8, Borealis Dawn, and 2 Starlink missions. Well, 22 News is your local election headquarters, and here's what we are working on for 22 News starting at 5 o'clock tonight. We'll take a look at each of the contested races on this year's ballot, including in Congress as well as the Massachusetts State House. Plus, see a full breakdown of each of the 5 questions on the ballot. And we'll take a look at why some chose to vote in person rather than by mail.
Still have that accident on I-91 south of the Long Meadow curve that is making traffic back up into downtown Springfield. So keep this in mind that the evening commute is starting out with a backup, and pack your patience if you're headed to I-91 south of downtown. Otherwise, 91 is running fine, and the Mass Pike is also looking pretty good. Peak heat of the week is tomorrow. We'll track it on 22 News at 5.
All right, be sure to join us for 22 News starting at 5 o'clock tonight for all your local election coverage. Updates all night long on wwlp.com and the free 22 News app.